Hello guys, welcome to the Fontaine Spark, and today we'll discuss the most wanted topic, that is event loop. So first I'll discuss about the call stack, web APIs, Microtask queue, Macrotask queue. Then I'll discuss about how the event loop works, and later I'll just give one visual representation of event loop. Then we'll go with some examples. So before discussing about the event loop, I'll just discuss how the JavaScript engine works. So JavaScript is a single thread, means it can do only one task at a time. So JavaScript engine executes the script from the top of the file and it creates an execution context. The event loop is a mechanism in a browser that handles the execution of code. It means it allowing for the asynchronous operation and ensuring that the single thread nature of the JavaScript engine does not block the execution of the code. So now I'll discuss about the call stack. So call stack means like whenever JavaScript engine encounters any synchronous operation, then it will push all those tasks into the call stack. What is the web API? The web API, the asynchronous operation like set timeout or set interval or any HTTP request are handled by the web API. These API are not part of the JavaScript engine. It run a separate thread and it allow them to execute without blocking the call stack. So what is the Microtask queue? The Microtask queue are the tasks that have a higher priority than the Macrotask queue, and those tasks are usually used for the immediate and lightweight operation. What is the Macrotask queue? The Macrotask queue that hold the tasks that are used to be executed. And these tasks are the asynchronous operations, such as whenever we pass any callbacks to the web API, those will come to the Microtask queue. Now I'll show you the visual representation of the event loop. For that, I just created one event loop HTML. In that event loop HTML, I just created, the div elements. Then inside the div elements, I just created multiple field set. And if you'll run this HTML, then we can see how it looks. I just created one call stack div, then the web API, then this Microtask queue, this is Macrotask queue, and this is the event loop monitoring mechanism tool basically. So what is happening here? The JavaScript engine start the execution script and it will just place all the synchronous operation to the call stack. Whenever it encounters any asynchronous task, then it will push to the web API. Then once the asynchronous operation completes, the callback function will be placed to the Macrotask queue. So this event loop continuously monitoring the call stack. So it will check if any task is pending in the call stack or not. If any task is not pending, is empty, then it will come to the Microtask queue. The Microtask queue is handles all the, you know the immediate and the lightweight operations like the promise. So it will check if any promise callbacks are present in the Microtask queue or not. If it's not, then it will come for the Microtask queue. So Macrotask queue holds the callbacks of the web API. JavaScript engine give the more priority to the Microtask queue than the Macrotask queue, because micro means small, macro means is a big. So I just created this HTML page to make you understand how it works and how can we just understand visually. So for that, I just created one JS file also, and in the JS file, like what I did, like whenever I'll just click on this execution next, then I have this task list. So this task list will be come to the call stack. If I click on the execute start, that means the JavaScript engine will start the execution of the code. So what will happen? So it will check if any synchronous task is there, then it will simply just push the synchronous task to the call stack and it will just pop that the synchronous task from the call stack itself. Then if JavaScript engine encounters any asynchronous operation like set timeout or set interval, then it will push all that callbacks with the timer in the web API. Then what happen? The browser will handle this timer. After the timer will expire, it move into the Macrotask queue. I just written the similar kind of code here itself. If it find out, okay, uh, the task is set timeout, then it will push that set timeout to the web API section. If it find out, okay, this is the promise, that means it will just push to the Microtask queue section. So then I'm just calling the event loop. The event loop basically like what is happening. So the event loop, I just created a set timeout, and inside that I just created one set interval. That means it will continuously monitor if any tasks are there in the call stack or not. If it's not there, means then it will come to check for the microtasks. If it's not there, then it will come for the macrotasks. That's how I have been written. And for that, uh, so now let's see how it works. So now I'm just clicking on the execution next, then this, then this, then this. So there are the four tasks has been pushed to the call stack. Then you can see, like if you start the execution, then this callback will come to the web API. Then this will be removed from the call stack, and for the promise, this callback will come to the microtask queue. When this time will be expired from the web API, then this function will come to the microtask queue. When the event loop will check, okay, there is nothing in the microtask queue or there is nothing in the call stack, then it will just come to the macrotask queue and will execute this console.log test2. Let's see, it came to this 1000 millisecond. Say after the 1000 millisecond, it's coming to here. Now that it will check the microtask queue, that's why it came to here. Then it will check the macrotask queue, then it coming to here. So I have given some timer here. You guys can increase the timer and can check how it works, and you can add something if you want to add also. So now we'll take some example to understand how it works. Okay, so I just created one synchronous task, that is console log. Then I just created one asynchronous task, and in the asynchronous task I'm just fetching one data, and then I have written on set timeout with 0 millisecond. Then again I have given the test3. The result of the output will be like test1, because like whenever the JavaScript engine see this is the synchronous task, then it will put to the call stack, right? Yeah. And like when it finds, okay, this is the asynchronous task, it's a HTTP request, then it will just put to the web API. Okay. Then again, when the JavaScript engine encounter, okay, this is the again web API set timeout, then it will put the web API again. Okay. When it come to the line number 9, then it will check, okay, this is the synchronous operation, then it will just put to the call stack. Okay. Now what happened? So this will be executed, then this will be executed. Means the output will be, so what will be the output? The output will be first test 1, then test 3, right? So these both are in the web APIs, right? Now we don't know how much time it takes the fetch, but we can see after the 0 expiration, this callback will go to the Macrotask queue. Okay. Then whenever the data will come from the server and it will be resolved, then this callback will go to the Macrotask queue after this. Now if I'll see, this is the Macrotask queue. Okay. So in the Macrotask queue, who came first? It came first this callback. Okay. Then this data came, basically this came, right? So in the Macrotask queue, we can see the first this set timeout callback came, then the fetch callback came. So JavaScript engine will check if anything there in the call stack queue or not. So it will check it's empty. Then it will come for the microtask queue. So in the microtask queue, also it's check it's empty. Then it will come for the macrotask queue. Macrotask queue is checking, okay, something is there. Then it will just take this task and push to the call stack. Okay, then it will just pop this task from the call stack and print test 2. Again it will just come, okay, there is anything in the Microtask queue? No. There is anything in the Microtask queue? Yes. Then it will take this console log data, means it will print the data basically. So it will be the output. Let's see. Node event loop. So you can see test one, then test three, then test two, then this data. This is correct, right? If you don't understand anything, please let me know. Please give a comment. I'll just try to answer your questions. Then you can go for the event loop 2.js example. In here, I have written the one synchronous task, then one asynchronous, then again one asynchronous, then again one asynchronous. Okay. In here, I also want include one synchronous task like test for. So tell me what will be the output here. So I'll just create the call stack. Then I'll create uh, Macrotask queue. Then I'll just create one Microtask queue. So like what are the things will come to the call stack? All the things are coming to the call stack altogether. So but whenever it sees any synchronous, then it will simply just pop out the task. That means first the output will be test one, right? Then it coming to the fetch again and it's seeing okay. mhm, it's again the asynchronous task. Then it will put this callback to this web APIs. Okay. They'll come for the set timeout. Okay, again set timeout come means it will put the again these things to the web API. Then when it comes for the promise, then say okay, this is the promise. That means like it will check okay, this is the very immediate and lightweight operation. That means push this promise stuff to the Microtask queue. Then it will push to the Microtask queue. Now what happens? So in the set timeout, I didn't give any timer. If I'll give any timer, suppose I'm giving 3000 millisecond. If this page will take more than this 3 second, that means it will come after this callback. But if it's take less than 3000 second, then it will come before this callback. So I'm just probably assuming it will take less than this 3000. So now the event loop will take if anything there is the call stack. No, that means it will just go to the Microtask queue and it will check if anything there. Yeah, it's there. Then simply push this task to the call stack. In the call stack means it will come here and it will just print test 3. So output will be test 3. Yeah, I just forgot to add this test 4 because it is a synchronous task. Anyway, it will give here itself, right? Now the event loop will check if anything there in the Microtask queue. No, it's not there. Then it will go for the Macrotask queue, right? So in the Macrotask queue, when the time will be expired for this data, then it will come to here. And when the set timeout means when this 3 second will be expired, then this callback will come to the Macrotask queue. Yeah. And the event loop will monitor, okay, there is nothing in the microtask queue or in the call stack, then it will come to the microtask queue and it will just print this data itself. So it will print this data. Then again the event loop will check, okay, if anything there in the microtask or in the call stack, no, it's not there, then it will just simply print this test2 here. Now check the output. So first is test1 is fine, then test4 fine, then test3 fine, then the data fine, then test2 fine. But now if I'll change this millisecond to 0, then definitely this test2 will come here. See, so first I've given the synchronous test1, then this asynchronous, then asynchronous again, then this synchronous again. So I'm not creating any queue and all those things, just simply I'll just write the output here. Here it will give like test1, then it will give test4, because it's a simply synchronous task, it's not inside the callback, right? It will give like test4. Then this callback will go to the microtask queue and this callback will go to the macrotask queue, right? Before that I have to print this test5. So event loop will checks if anything there in the microtask queue, yeah, it's there, then it will just print this test3. Then the event loop again checks if anything there in the microtask, no, it's empty, then it will come for the macrotask, then it will check, okay, this is the test2, then it will print test2 here. Let's see the output. So test1, yeah, then test4, right, then the test5, yes, right, then the test3, right, then the test2 is right. The mostly the interviewer will give some examples, then they will ask you to just print the output. So I think now you have the clear understanding how the event loop works. So that's it from the event loop. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe to the channel and we'll meet you in the next year, that is 2025. Till that, please take care of yourself and spend time with your families and do whatever you want to do.